Hey everyone, my name is Marcos Moreno, and today I'll be presenting on equal employment opportunities, the history of it, and also what happened that required it to occur. So let's get started. First of all, in this presentation, we will be discussing the history, some background of EEO legislation, some of the reasons behind its creation. I'm going to go over major EEO laws and also some challenges from a Christian perspective of working as an HR manager, some things that can come up with, and also just a conclusion and a few key takeaways from this presentation. So let's get started. First of all, what is EEO? EEO is also called Equal Employment Opportunity, and it's a legislation designed to ensure fair treatment in the workplace. It prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disabilities, and more. And the goal of it is exactly that: is to provide equal access to employment opportunities for all the individuals, to everyone. Um, so that being said, now that we know a little bit more of what it is, let's go to the history of the EEO. So, in the history of EEO, it is deeply tied to social changes and government intervention throughout all the years, uh, and that related to the workplace discrimination. So, there were a few factors. There were several key factors that led to the creation of EEO and to that make it get even more important and more crucial to be created, right? So, changing over time, there was a growing recognition that employment discrimination was a serious issue, and there was a changing attitude towards it. So, throughout all the years, we're gonna talk a little bit of the laws after, but throughout the years, we could see that the changing of attitudes and recognizing this problem, and that with that came also that there were reports and studies on economic problems and injustice happening in the workplaces. And these studies and these reports were highlighting these disparities in pay, hiring, and promotions based on those discriminations, on the race, on sex, on age, and which made it even more expressive, the creation of EEO laws. And also, another thing that was crucial to the development was this government efforts. This They were trying to address these issues and to enforce the workplace fairness to everyone, to all the population. In the figure in the right, we can see the three factors that kind of came together that influenced the EO legislation, and it is also a way to see how we should deal with a problem. So the condition, which is the PR there, it is the recognizing that there was a problem, and what is causing that, making that analysis. So that was the changing attitude. And then the concern: do I care enough about this problem? That was the changing of attitudes, and also recognizing the studies and all the things that were being said about discriminations. And then the correction, which is the creation of EEO itself, changing the problem and solving it. All right, now that we know the history and the background of EEO, let's talk a little bit about the major laws, some of the major laws that I thought would be interesting to put in this presentation. The first one is the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which mainly prohibit the employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. And we're gonna see that this is the base of EEO, right? This one is the what really from that expanded to other groups of people, to other types of discriminations, and but that was crucial to the development of EEO. The second one is the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which required equal payment to everyone that was doing the same work, regardless of the sex. And it's still a very important one to nowadays. It is a constant fight, right? The third one is the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, which prohibits discrimination against people age 40 or older in the workplace. So we can see that the Civil Rights Act in 1964 was the base, but it grew in different areas through that, right? Number four, for example, is the Pregnancy Discrimination Act in 1978, which prohibits the discrimination against pregnancy, childbirth, and maternity related benefits and performance. So that one just serves as a safety environment, as a safe environment for the parents, where they don't need to worry about losing their jobs or not getting a job due to being pregnant or due to having a newborn. So let's go to a few more laws. The other one is the Right Act of 1991, which is mainly about its strength and improved civil rights protections, uh, making it easier for example, making it easier for employees to sue for discrimination, which gave even more voice to the employees and made them feel more safer, and also being able to do their jobs best of their abilities. Uh, the other one is the American with Disability Act in 1990, and this one is again another expansion of the first Civil Right Act, um, which prohibits discrimination against individuals with physical or mental disabilities. And another thing that that it requires is that these workplaces, they require to have a reasonable accommodations for those people if they need. And my last law that I included here is Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal Act of 2010, which ended the policy that restricted LGBTQ plus individuals from openly serving in the U.S. military. So this caused even more inclusion to all the groups in all the job positions. All right, with all the laws being said, let's go over now the a different kind of related to that, but also bringing a new topic, which is the struggles for a Christian HR professional. And it is very related with the EEO laws, but also brings a new perspective to all this topic, right? So, as Christians working in HR, there can be tensions between these faith-based values and philosophy, and also the workplace demands and the company demands and the company culture, right? There are gonna be ethical dilemmas are gonna show up, are gonna rise, and then that the HR will have to balance these legal requirements with biblical principles and their personal faith. And I end up mentioning my ethics class, and the biblical perspective that it brings, and it's very interesting to that I'm learning that related to HR as well, because both of those classes, being at Milligan, it brings this Christian perspective to these topics that usually you're not gonna see everywhere. This relationship, because uh, it feels that it's not everywhere would look at these jobs in a Christian perspective, right? So in my ethics class, for example, there were several cases that we had to figure out what we should do in such situation that we were put in a position where we had to help someone, but at the same time maybe helping someone would not be the best thing for the business, but helping the business will not be the best thing, the best way to helping someone. So how would we deal with that, and how would we choose those two, right? And bring a little bit to the another struggle that a Christian HR professional can have related to the EEO laws. I think a big one that I can think of is sex orientation with Christian perspective. It is a big controversial topic, and how should the HR deal with that? Being a Christian, and Christ tells us to respect and treat everyone the same way, and love one another. And I feel that that's how it should be done. So I brought two topics here. I brought two Bible verses here. The first one is Colossians 3:23, and these two Bible verses kind of explain a little bit how I believe a Christian HR or a Christian professional should look at their job regardless of their position or where they are in life. So first one is Colossians 3:23, which is whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for man. And this one just reminds us to work for the Lord. Everything that we do is to honor Him and to bring Him glory, and and do how He taught us to do from the Word. The second Bible verse is Galatians 6:9, which talks about, with the Bible verse is, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." And this one is just kind of encourages us, and I take it in a way of it's always good to do good. It's always the right thing to do good, regardless of what question we're is arising, what ethical questions. There's always there should have it should have the good thing, what we should do. So I feel that we have kind of to approach these HR responsibilities with integrity, fairness, and a Christ-centered perspective. But also, it is important to respect the laws and to respect the demands that our jobs put on us. Okay, so let's go to the conclusion and get a few takeaways from this. So, in a conclusion, HR professionals, they have to have this balance, these legal obligations with ethical considerations and personal faith, and you know, and I feel that the EEO laws, they play an important role in like already working towards this fairness and protection to the employees and helping people. So it makes it a little bit easier in these ethical dilemmas that can arise, right? And another thing that I believe it is important as an HR manager, I would ask to them, who do you want to be in your position? Who do you want to be seen? How do you want to be seen in your position? Because regardless of religion, regardless of who we are, we being in an HR position, we are dealing with people, and when we're dealing with people, regardless of those things, we should strive for integrity. We should strive for fairness to everyone, and that comes to the integrity and fairness relationship and the professional standards with the biblical values. They are related because regardless of our religion, we are dealing with humans, and that's how we should love one another, and we should respect one another and treat them with integrity, how we want it to be treated. Like, so this is my presentation. These are my references for this presentation. Thank you for your time. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.